Katrina's Creations Crafting Podcast. This is episode 93. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back each week. And if you're a new viewer, if you like this video, please subscribe. Click the little red button down below. And if you click the little bell shape next to it, it will give you notifications anytime I post a video, which is normally on Saturday. However, sometimes I throw things in midweek. And upcoming, there's going to be a lot of midweek throw-ins. So, yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Let's get started. I have no finished objects, but if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you will see that I got something majorly semi-completed this week. I have been working on the Barton cardigan for over a year, off and on. And it's gotten so big, it's living in my Katrina's Creations tote, which is available in the links below if you're interested. There's also a mug with the same logo on it. But let me show you what I got. Now, last week I had said that I had finished the sleeves. I lied, not intentionally. I just didn't read ahead on the pattern. Where I thought I was finished, I actually had to add the increases for the upper arms because you knit the sleeves from the cuff up to the shoulder. And it called for increases over 45 rows. Yeah, 45 more rows. They would have hung down to my knees. I don't have very long arms to begin with. And yeah, something got a little out of wonky here. Not the pattern, but the knitter messed up with the knitting. So yeah, I condensed. I did not do 45 more rows. I did the increases over 25 rows instead. So I probably will have to double the cuff up, but the cuffs are just ribbing, so it's not going to be a big deal if I have to fold them over like that. So it won't be a big problem. So I had to adjust both sleeves. So this is the sleeve at this point. And you can see right here, I won't show both sleeves because they're identical, but I knit about the same amount on both sleeves. So I knit from here up. So 25 rows on each sleeve. So I knit 50 rows going around the sleeves. And then you put the sleeves back on. And this is kind of backwards for me because when I have made sweaters before, from a pattern, I've always done top down. So this was bottom up. So the sleeves coming in is a little backward to me from what I'm used to. I mean, it's the same process. It's just a little rearranged. So here is the body of the sweater. And ta-da, there's my sleeves. I've gotten one row where they actually where it all attaches. So my sleeves are now, they're kind of bunched up in here, but the sleeves are on both ends here. And you can see underneath, I've got the remaining stitches on holders because the underarm portion of the sleeve and the underarm portion of the body have not been attached yet. That goes on later. So right now I am working my way up the yoke. And this is a sweater that's knitted circular, on circular needles. It's knit in tube form, and then you steek it, which means you cut the front down the center. And that's where that plain stitching is right here, is where it's going to be cut to open it up to make it into the cardigan. And someone asked if I was going to film that, and I am. I am going to film when I cut the steeking open. Someone said I should do it live. I don't know if I'll do it live. I would probably totally freak out if it went, which it won't, but you know, I will film it, but I don't know that I'm going to do it live. I have to think about that one. So that is that project that I felt like I got a lot accomplished with that this week. Then I started working on my, well, not started, I've been working on my There Is Water at the Bottom of the Ocean, and it is a pattern by Barbara Benson Designs. She has the podcast called Watch Barbara Knit, and this is what it looked like. And here is mine. I love the color, but I'm still not loving the yarn. It's a discontinued yarn. I did add stitch markers since I worked last time, since I showed this to you last time, simply because, and I just dropped a whole bunch of stitches. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I averted disaster. I had a bunch of the stitches jump off of the needles, which, since this has a whole bunch of yarn overs, that could have been a major disaster. But since I showed this to you last week, I've knit quite a bit on it. I've gone through another section, and I added some stitch markers so I could tell where the pattern changes. So let me hold this out so you can see the pattern. And it's showing up kind of gray, but it's an icy blue. It's knit from the top down, so that's this. This is the center top of the shawl. So you're looking at it upside down when I hold it on the needles. Now, a little tip. I have different markers on here. They're not all the same. There actually is a reason for that, and that is because the way of this pattern, it has a, I don't want to say too much because it is a paid for pattern, but it has a side section where the stitches are different, and then it has the pattern repeats where I have just plain the little plastic circles, which are probably one of my favorite types of stitch markers. They're also the cheapest, but they work great. And then when you get to the center of the shawl, I have two different stitch markers. You can see them right here. They kind of look like big giant blueberries right there and here. But this is the center of the shawl, and it has a center border. So this section of stitches is different from the other repeats. So I have these on there to let me know that I'm at a separate section, and then it goes back to the same repeats. And then I have another one of these to let me know that it's getting ready for this final setup in the change of stitches. So it's making it go a lot faster now that I have the pattern really established. And so I knit about, I think it's about 12 or 13 rows this week. No, it's more than that. I finished a section, I knit about 24 rows this week on that. So that is the water at the bottom of the ocean, and it is living in my Birdie and Poppets bag. I won this from Knitting by the Sea, and I'm going to actually talk about that podcast in a little bit because they did a swap, and I participated in it, and so did one of you guys. In fact, we're swapping with each other. So now let's look at, I'm working on, to match my tote that I will show you in a few minutes, I decided I wanted to make a yarn ball holder. Now, one of our subscribers, Yoka, she had given me a pattern before. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you want to check it out, it is called Yarn Ball Buddy. Here they are. And they have little snaps. Now, the one I made originally in this pattern, I did with a drawstring, which you can do as well. And they're great for if you wanted to knit socks or a small project and you want the ball of yarn like hanging off of your arm, or if you want it just tucked into your purse or something like that so it's not going to be rolling all over the floor. They are great for that. But she actually designed another pattern. However, it's only in Dutch. Yoka is from the Netherlands, and she actually translated this for me specifically. So I'm the only person that has it in English. And let me show you what it looks like. I want to make sure that I'm not showing the pattern because I don't know if she's going to release this as a free pattern or if it's a for sale pattern. So let me show this to you. It is called the Japanese Inspired Bag, and it kind of looks like a tulip. You can see it here. See the edges, how they lift up like that? And then it has the drawstring. So yeah, it is called the Japanese Inspired Bag. And it kind of reminds me maybe a tulip or maybe even a lotus, like I think it's a Chinese lotus flower. That's kind of what it reminds me of too. So let me show you what mine looks like. I'm doing it in the colors that I did my tote in. Because like I said, I'm going to use it as an accessory to my tote. So here mine is unassembled so far. I'm hoping mine works out because my yarn is not real stiff because it's cotton. It's kind of floppy. So her picture, the one in her picture, stands up nice and stiff. And I'm not sure if mine might be a droopy lotus flower, because my yarn is kind of droopy. But there it is so far. So I've been working on that. This has been my car knitting because it's something I can really handle. It's small, so it's like knitting on a pair of socks. And it goes pretty quick too, because I've knit this like when I was at work. When we were driving between stops, I was working on it. And this is in a bag. It's called Stitch and You bag. And she does have an Etsy shop. And I won this from the Yarn and You Girl podcast for her 600 subscriber giveaway, probably a year. She's over 1,000 now, so that was over a year ago that I won this. So yeah, if you guys don't enter in some of these giveaways and stuff, you'd be surprised how often you win. I've won 3 different times, which is totally shocking to me, but I've won 3 different times. So if you haven't tried it, it's a good thing. You have nothing to lose. Doesn't cost to enter anything. So now we're going to talk about the tote along. Now I showed you the bag that I finished last week. So here it is. And I've had several people ask me where I got the handles at. I got them at Joann's Fabrics years ago because they used to be on another pocketbook, and when I got rid of the pocketbook, I cut them off. I used to be into sewing pocketbooks. Making pocketbooks look sort of like the Vera Bradley type of pocketbooks. So I had several handles, so I cut these off. I think you can still get them at probably any like yarn or craft type of store. Hobby Lobby, I'm sure, has them. Just don't forget, if you go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's, take coupons with you because you can get discounts. And that's what I used with this. I had a 40% discount when I bought this. I never pay full price for stuff like that. Anyway, I was working, if you remember last week, I had a small crisis and almost a major meltdown because I had run out of yarn. I'm making the the Virus Meets Granny shawl. And I had gotten, let me take my hook out here. Here is my Virus Meets Granny. And I got down to here, and I ran out of this color yarn, which was the Raspberry Pudding by Ella Rae. I could get more of the gray, but this was back ordered, and there was no guarantee how long it was going to be till it came back in. Well, I really appreciate everybody's suggestions because a lot of you wrote in with some ideas, and I was trying to figure out how I could salvage this project and not have the smallest shawl in history, because it was like, I mean, it looks big when I hold it up, but by the time I wrap it around my rather plump little body, it's not going to wrap too much. It would look more like a bib. So I was really worried. I didn't know what I was going to do. I really didn't want to put a 4th color into this. So one of you, and I won't name your name because you requested that I wouldn't, so I will honor that, but I want to say a major thank you. One of you found it in your local yarn store and sent it to me. So thank you so much. Crisis averted. So this is great. And she's actually put a card in for the shop that she got it from. It was from Michigan Fine Yarns. And they do have a webpage? Yes, they have a web page. I will put it up right down here if you want to check out that particular yarn shop where she got this at. So, yes, thank you once again. So, yes, I was just, when she sent me an email and asked for my address and told me what was going to happen, I was like, I had tears. I was so excited. I told my husband, I was like, I was so afraid I was going to have to abandon this project. And it's like, yeah, you guys are great. Thank you so much. So, yeah, that was a wonderful surprise. And I can finish my shawl now and we'll actually be able to use it. So that is great too. Now what I wanted to finish telling you about with this tote, we do have a tote along going. If you haven't already entered the tote along, you've still got time because the tote along is running from July 1st until August 31st. So today's only the 9th. It doesn't take long to crochet or knit. You can do either. You can do any pattern you would like to do. There's a couple of suggested patterns down below, one for crochet, one for knit, that are fairly easy and that are free. But you can do any pattern you would like. You can do any size tote that you would like. I mean, I wouldn't do like this big, but I mean, you know, within reason, you can do a tote. So you can submit your finished tote either on my Ravelry group, which is linked down below, or you can go over to my email, which is KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com, and you can submit a picture there, and that will get you into it, because quite a few of you are just not as familiar with Ravelry and some of the ins and outs with it. There's things I'm still learning with Ravelry, so you're not alone. But anyway, some people are having problems with it, so I want to make sure that as many people as can participate are able. So if you can't do it in the groups tab, then just send it as an email. But do us all a favor and let us know what pattern you made or what yarn. Tell us something about it, because we might want to make whatever it is that you make. So it's all about sharing all the information. So anyway, the tote along is running until the end of August, and the winner will be receiving a skein of yarn, and I've showed it every week, so I'm not going to show it again. But the winner will be chosen and announced on the September 1st podcast, and they will receive a skein of yarn. So, along with the Virus Meets Granny shawl, some of you have sent me pictures or showed on Facebook pictures of your Virus shawl or your Virus Meets Granny shawl. And I thought, why don't we have some fun here? Okay, there's no prize involved. I just think it would be fun to share your favorite project. If it's a shawl, that would be great. It could be knitted, it could be crocheted, but if you have a favorite project that you've done, make sure to tell us what it is, what the name of the pattern is, and just send it to my email address. Like I said, it's KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. And next week or the week after, maybe we will do a little parade of projects. And I'll just put up everybody's projects that they send to me. We'll put the photo up for everybody else to see. So I just thought that would be kind of fun, because sometimes you look through patterns and you're kind of overwhelmed by the number of patterns that are out there. But when you see people who have actually made them, you know, it's kind of addicting. If you do go onto Ravelry, it's like Pinterest for yarn people, because you go on there and it's like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. So I thought it would be kind of fun if we all shared our favorite projects. So if you have a favorite project or shawl that you've made, please let us know what the pattern is and send it to my email address, and I will put them all together in a couple weeks. So we have that going on. Then a few weeks ago, I mentioned in the fall that Annie's craft shop had contacted me about doing a crochet along for, and most of you had said that you were interested in the table runner, which was different sizes of granny squares. There were a couple people that liked the little pumpkins. It was some different projects. Okay, well, I found a little bit more out about it, and I'm not sure if I do it, we're going to modify it a little bit, because the patterns that they were suggesting for this are patterns that have to be bought out of a magazine. And I know that that would eliminate some people because the cost of the magazine. So instead, I'm still working on it. I'll let you know the details, and the fact that I don't want to leave knitters out, because I'm primarily a knitter. I'm new to crochet, so I want to make sure everybody can participate. So I'm still working out the details, and the idea that they've come up with at Annie's was you were going to do a live crochet like chat session, and you would just chat while you're crocheting. I need all the concentration I can get while I'm crocheting. I don't dare chat to anybody while I'm crocheting. Now, knitting, I could do that. Crochet, not so much yet. I'm getting better, but I'm not real sure if I want to do a live video. Right now, you guys don't get to see all my bloopers because I edit them out because, well, it would be very entertaining for most people, but it'd be very embarrassing for me. So I edit out a lot of the mistakes that I make. And if you're doing it live, you can't edit out the mistakes. And to be honest, I don't enjoy watching live videos myself because it gets a little confusing when they're talking to people as they're typing in, and you can see what people are typing in, but because it's a video, it's slightly delayed, so people are typing in comments and they're replying to them often. It's like doing Skype, how there's a delay between people. So I really haven't decided. So there's more details to come with the crochet along. I just need to work out some of the technical stuff and see where I want to go with it. But that's not till the fall anyway, so I got some time to think about it. But I will keep you guys posted with what I come up with. Now, acquisitions. I did some damage, definite damage this week because, like I advertised last week in my sales section, I told you Craftsy was having a 70% off nearly everything in the store. Yeah, I had fun. Let me show you what I got. First, I had showed you a pattern that I had bought. It's in a magazine called Interweave Knits. And this is the summer of 2018. Okay? And it has a Southwest theme. So there's a lot of Southwest colors in these. This shawl I fell in love with because it's kind of got a little bit of a feather. You can see a little curve going on here. Little feather and fan type of thing. And then it has these different colors, which are in true color. They are a deep, deep teal and like a rusty color red. And then the main color is an oatmeal color. I like the oatmeal. I like the other colors, but the two colors together, I don't know that I would wear. I'm more of a bland sort of person. And I wanted to make, if I'm going to put money into something and make it, I want it to be in colors that I'm going to wear and that I'm going to get the most use out of. So I am doing the main color. This is, the yarn is all, it's called Sprightly, and this is acrylic worsted. Okay. I don't normally knit with a whole lot of acrylic, but we're going to give it a go because this particular shawl takes almost 1,000 yards. So that would have been expensive in natural fibers. So this is my main color, and I have 3 skeins of this. And then the other 2 colors is this deeper charcoal. I have 2 skeins of that, and then a black. So I think this is going to look gorgeous together. So I have a light charcoal. It looks white in the picture. It's not. It's kind of an ash color. So I have ash and a medium and a black. So I think those are going to look, it's going to look pretty, but it's going to look very neutral that I can put other things with it. And I want to make something I get the most use out of. So I bought all together, let's see, there's 3 skeins of the light and 2 of each of these. So altogether I have 7 skeins of this yarn. Then I bought, and this is funny, apparently I'm very drawn to the same colors over and over again. Those of you who've been watching for any length of time, does this look slightly familiar? I made a poncho. Now this is mandala, and a lot of you have talked about mandala, so I wanted to try it. And it is, there's 590 yards in it, and I bought 2 because that way it will get me through a shawl, whether I crochet it or whether I knit it. And this is a light worsted, at least that's what it feels like to me. It's 100% acrylic. Let's see. Yeah, it's a light, it's between a worsted and a light. It's more of a light worsted. I would say light worsted to like a sport weight yarn. I made a poncho and I used Katia paint yarn. It's almost identical. I didn't realize it till this came in the mail and I looked at it and I went, I bought the same colors. Like I said, it's 2 different yarn companies because this is, like I said, mandala. The other one was Katia paint. But yeah, wait till I will insert a picture right here. So you can see how closely the colors are. Yeah. Apparently, well, I know I like fall colors, and these are gorgeous. They go from different shades of gold. They go to a rust, to a gray, and a light brown, and then kind of an oatmeal-y color on the outside. And these are both, they don't look like they're the same colorway, but they're just wound separate. That wherever this one leaves off, the next one picks up. So, yeah, that's why it looks like they're different, but they really aren't. They are the same number and everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a matching wardrobe. I'll have a poncho and whatever kind of shawl this ends up. Yeah, it'll coordinate. I could wear them both at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, I wasn't, but I got those. Then when I was on vacation last year, I had bought this, and I showed this, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago. This is Party of Five by Sweet Georgia. Okay. And I have a shawl design that I want to work on, and I know I want to use these in it, but I wanted to have a solid blue to accent these. So initially I had this navy blue. But when you put it with this colors here, and I don't know how well it's going to show up. There you go. The light's kind of funny. We've got a storm coming through, so we've had storms all week long. We had a massive thunderstorm last night. But anyway, my lighting's not the greatest today. But this navy, when you put it against these blues, almost has a purple undertone to it. It clashes with this. So I ordered the same type of yarn. I have 4 skeins of this, and this is Craftsy Highland Superwash Sock Twist. It's 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide, and the 20% is so that you could make socks out of it if you wanted to. There's 180 or 178 yards or 163 meters. It's a fingering weight yarn, and so that is what is going to go with this. It still doesn't go great, but it's the closest I think I'm going to get. So there it is. I have some other yarn that is a light blue, which I thought about putting this with, but it's not the same fiber content, and you don't want to mix fiber content because when you wash it, it won't block evenly. So anyway, that's what these are going together for a design shawl that I've drawn up what I want it to look like, and we'll hope it turns out that way. So I got that. Then I went to Joann's, and we're going on vacation this fall up to Connecticut and Massachusetts. And one place that I've heard other podcasters talk about was this, it's a chain of fabric stores called Discount Fabrics, and everything in the store is $2.99 a yard. I'm not a big sewer, but I could be for $2.99. So I like these skirts that I bought from Woman Within. I've had them for years, and they're like A-line skirts with side pockets and a drawstring. They wear well, but they're finally wearing out, and they're not being sold by that company anymore. I can't find them any place that are exactly like the ones that I had. So I thought, well, maybe I will make myself some skirts. So I was looking for a pattern very similar to the one that I like. I can't find one, so I think what I'll do is I'll take the skirt that's in the worst condition and rip it apart and use that as my pattern to make some more. But I did buy a pattern from Joann's, and here it is. I like this one, the fuller one. I don't like straight skirts. My hips are too big to do that. It would show every little bulge that I've got. In my case, they're not little, they're big bulges. So I like the A-line. Actually, I wish hoop skirts would come back in. I could hide so much underneath them. So, except for sitting down, that could be a problem. I'd probably sit down and flip the hoops over top of my head. But anyway, can you tell I'm sleep deprived? A little on the goofy side today. Anyway, this is a wraparound skirt. I only have one reservation with the wraparound skirt, and that is the fear that it will come unwrapped. So I'm hoping there's a big overlap so that, yeah, I don't want to flash everybody. But my thought with this too is if I continue to lose weight, I can just tighten it without having to remake a skirt. I can just keep wrapping it around myself as I hopefully get thinner. So that is the plan. So I wanted to buy a pattern for when I go to this store that's up in Connecticut called Discount Fabrics, so that I wanted to know how much yardage I was going to need and have a pattern at least in mind. So I bought that. And then back in May, my work had a wellness challenge. They do it every year, and it's like 5 weeks where you set certain eating goals and exercise goals and, you know, that type of thing. And you win prizes and you put your name in if you've achieved the goals you set for that week. And so anyway, but they give you a participation prize. So the participation prize that they gave me was this. And it is a lunchbox. Okay. I don't need a lunchbox. I have a couple of lunchboxes. But I saw it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it as a small project bag, because it does have like little pocket, has a pocket on the outside here. So I don't know if I'm going to use it as a project bag or if I'm going to use it for like a little first aid kit to tuck into the car. So not sure which, but it was free. I got it. I did win a $10. I won one of the drawings. I got a $10 gift card to Subway. Now, for people being on a diet and trying to lose weight, I guess you could eat healthy at Subway. But one year, we did have to laugh. My coworker won a prize to Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, we thought that, but she and I just sat there and laughed. It was like, here we are talking about wellness and eating right, and we're going to give somebody a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. I wouldn't mind Dunkin' Donuts. I like Dunkin' Donuts, yes, especially the toasted, crunchy coconut ones. Yeah, anyway, can you tell I'm on a diet? Everything sounds good. Yeah. So, that is my acquisitions. We have some things to share from one of our viewers. Bev sent me some pictures of some things that she's been working on. She is a quilter. So I am going to insert them here, but I'll tell you ahead of time what some of them are. She made a quilted table runner, a quilted baby quilt. She's knitted a sweater. She's worked on a pair of socks. She has a 2C2C blankets going right now. In fact, she told me that's one I should try, is the C2C, which is corner to corner, in case you didn't know what it was. I looked it up. It's corner to corner. So you start at the corner, you go out, and you come back in. Sort of like the knitted dishcloths that you start and you come back in. Same idea. And then she has also made, it's really, really pretty. I might have to try to do this one. It's a 12-pointed star for like a circular center of a table. It's really, really pretty. And I was like, that might be a project that I might have to make out of my leftover fall-colored yarn that I have from my tote. So I have to think about that. I have to look and see how hard of a pattern it is, because I do believe it's a crochet pattern. So I'm going to insert the pictures for Bev, her projects that she's done right here. Speaking of projects, the next, I've already picked out what project I'm going to do for crochet next. I was at Knit Night last Tuesday. This Tuesday I didn't go, but the Tuesday before. And there was a lady there who was crocheting this gorgeous shawl. It's called the Tega shawl. I'll spell it right here. It is by Johanna Lindahl. It is a free pattern, and I saw the pattern that was shown. When I saw it in the shop, the girl that was making it, I liked it better than the pattern picture for the advertisement, because the pattern picture is done in like variegated colors, and the one she made was solid medium gray, and then it had like primary colors in solids in like small stripes going through it. It was absolutely gorgeous. So, and it has a pretty kind of scalloped edge to the bottom. So check out that pattern. You'll see what I mean. It has tassels. I don't know that I'll put the tassels on them. I don't know. I'm not a fringe person, so I don't know if I'm a tassel person or not. But that is a pattern I want to make next. So that is sitting in my library over on Ravelry for my next project. Now, next week, we will be, I will be showing you some items that I swapped. One of the podcasts that I watched that I talked about earlier that I won this project bag on, which is called Knitting by the Sea. It's Saratoga Knitting. I was watching that, and the host on the podcast, her name is Lisa, she set up a swap. She said, let's do a swap along, whoever wants to participate. And we had to fill out like a whole bunch of little questions about things we liked, things we didn't like, if we liked tea, if we liked coffee, you know, different fibers we liked, all that type of thing. And so we put all that in there, and then she set us up with a partner to swap with. And so Lucy became my partner. Now Lucy also watches the podcast here, so it's when you're watching this, it's actually going out in the mail, but I don't want to show you what I set up for the swap until next week, because I want her to be surprised when she sees it. So stay tuned next week to see what it was that I sent out to Lucy for part of the swap. Now, this week's sales items, I will fill you in on what's going on. Annie's Craft Shop is offering a free 30-day trial of their craft videos. Now, if you decide that you like these videos and you want to continue with it, it's $7.99 a month, which is really pretty cheap. It's very reasonable because you have unlimited access to video classes. The topics that they're doing video classes on are creative living, crochet, knit and crochet now, learn to make and create, products that we love, quilts, stitches and tips, and quilt skill builder. So they've got knitting and crochet and quilting videos that are available to watch. And like I said, you could sign up for a 30-day free trial. Who doesn't like free? So the link is down below if you're interested in trying that out. And like I said, if you decide after the 30 days you don't want it, you can cancel it. If you decide you want to continue, it's $7.99 a month. So that is the deal that Annie's is running. Knit Picks has Felici yarn on sale. They also have Stroll Tonal multi-packs or mini packs. Now, if you remember, I showed you this Party of 5 yarn. This is the same, these little mini skeins are the same type of deal. Now, I paid $36 for this, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I paid for this. Because it's by Sweet Georgia, which is an independent dyer. Anytime you buy something from an independent dyer, you're going to pay more money, because they don't put it out in as many, as much volume as they do other companies. But let me find, where did I put my Knit Picks? But Knit Picks has them. This is not Sweet Georgia. This is Stroll Tonal, but the yardage is very, very similar. It is groups of 5, the same as the Sweet Georgia. Now, the Sweet Georgia has 5 skeins that are 105 yards each. The mini skeins that are the Stroll Tonal are 92 yards each. So, you know, it's very close. It's a difference of 13 yards. And here's some of the colors that they have in their packs. But they're not $36 a piece. They're $20. So they have 1, 2, 3, looks like seven different colors. So that's worth checking out. They also have some of the things I have knitted and shown you before. I buy a lot of the fingering weight palette yarn, which is really cheap. It's usually like between $3 and $4 a skein for 100% wool. I want to show you all the colors they have in this particular. I have a hard time choosing when I order from them. Look at all the different color choices. So it's one of those things where if you don't want to buy a small thing like this, you could spend about the same amount of money and put together your own set of gradients. So, and you could check it out. So you can go over to their website. The link is down below here, and check them out. And you can sign up to get the little free flyer. It comes out a couple times a year, and you can. Sometimes it's better looking at this than looking online because the colors are more true. So anyway, if you want to check that out, that's what's going on with Knit Picks. And Craftsy has various yarns on sale. They are no longer running that 70% off sale. That was like just a flash sale that ran just Friday through Monday of last week. So, yeah, but they are running some sales. And Lion Brand is carrying a yarn called Flicka. It's a 50% cotton, 50% polyester. And they have it in two different sizes. You can get the big yarn cake, which is $7.99, and it's 392 yards, which is 358 meters. And they're also running a smaller size, which is $3.99, and it's 196 yards for 178 meters. And it's kind of tweedy looking, you know, kind of the barber pole look where it kind of stripes on the plying kind of stripes. So it was really pretty. So it would make pretty socks, but it would make pretty other things too. So they are running a sale on that. That's their newest thing. And again, it's called Flicka. And the links to all of those are down below. I should be getting a Knit Crate in on Saturday. So I'm filming today on Thursday. So you'll be watching it on Saturday. I will be doing the unboxing for the Knit Crate, and they're sending me a second box to open. So I get the membership box, which is $24.99 a month and includes 2 skeins of yarn and 2 patterns. And they have been sending me a free box with the Sock Artisan. So it's an independent dyer box. And there's usually like a little treat of some sort in it. And so they are going to be sending that to me. So stay tuned on Wednesday. So if you are interested, or if you want to watch any of my Knit Crate boxes that I've opened in the past, I'll put a little card up right here. You click on the little eye and it'll take you to the playlist that shows the other yarns that I've gotten over time. And if you're interested in Knit Crate, they offer 20% off of your first box. And I think you can get, I think the cheapest box starts at like $20. The most expensive one runs to $35, and that includes your shipping. So, and it includes international shipping. So even if you are, if you live outside the United States, you get it for the same price. You don't pay, the shipping is included in the price they quote you. So, if you would like that 20% off, you do need to use a discount coupon of KatrinasCreations 20 that you have to put to get that 20% discount. So those are the sales for this week, and I think that wraps it up. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you on Wednesday for our next Knit Crate unboxing. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.